Welcome. You're now listening to episode 43. Style of play football. I had to remember then quickly. Top of the dome stuff. Nearly threw myself off then. Yeah, episode 43. What you saying, Kojo? You good?
Yeah, I'm all right, man. I'm all right, man.
Yeah.
Obviously, football's football, innit? So certain people come to stress out your life, but yeah,
We're
man,
gonna
can't
get onto
complain.
that.
What are you
We're gonna
saying?
get onto that. No, I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I gotta talk about Chelsea in a minute, man, because as much as things are good, it can always drop you to a low period very quickly. So we're gonna get onto that. But before we do, please make sure if you're new here, you subscribe to the channel, you like the video, all that sort of stuff helps with the algorithm. So anyone that's liking it or commenting on the videos, please make sure you continue to do that. And if you also prefer audio version of this podcast, again, there's a link below where you can hit that link and it will take you to the audio version of the podcast. So again, if you're on your travels, that's right there for you. But we're gonna do some European discussions first of all before we move over to the Premier League and a preview for this weekend's fixtures. But no particular order. We're going to start with Manchester United first, of course. Eric 10 fraud. What is going on with your gaffer, man? You got to talk about him.
Yeah. So for those of you that didn't watch the game, it was a 3-3 game. Where for the first 10, 15 minutes we were on top. We were playing our ball, we were disrupting them. Rashford looked electric. Not only for the 15 minutes, electric. He was electric throughout his time on the pitch. We'll get to that. He cut in, beat some players, scored a nice goal. Keeper should have done better his near post. Keeper should have done better his near post for the second goal when Hoyland scored. Good play between Rashford, him, and Bruno. And then he shot. You see, he just wants to get a goal to build his confidence, which is good for him. But then Porto clocked what I've been screaming about as the issue of playing Dallo at left back and what Ten Hag has him doing. Dallo at left back has been instructed to, in possession, be almost like a centre midfielder, leaving a huge gap at the back, but also making sure that he's also having Casemiro and Ericsson join the attack. He's having Rashford join the attack, so there's no cover on
Yeah.
that left side. So that now, not that I'm not trying to absolve Martinez and Delect of any blame, but it now lets me think, or rather looking at how they have to deal with situations defensively, because essentially what you're doing is you're dragging the centre back away from the other centre back. There's another left back there. Now the player's got two people to worry about. Do I go here? Do I go here? And the one thing that Henri always said is when you're attacker or you're in attack, you are the bosses. You have control. So when a ball's crossed in, the defender has no option but to go towards the ball in a certain area, whereas the striker can shift and shimmy everywhere until he gets into a position and beats the defender. It's a difficult job. Concede the first goal from that. Concede the second goal from that. Fantastic. Start the second half shit. Concede another goal there as well. Bruno Fernandes gets sent off. I don't think it was a red card at all. I'm going to be very real because he didn't even get close to touching the guy. However, you run the risk when you beat your foot that high, you get sent off. It was a high boot he got sent off for. He didn't touch the guy, but the guy sold it perfectly. Referee got conned off. But again, you put your foot in the air that high, you run the risk so you can hold that. But we got back into the game with a Maguire header. But after being 2-0 up, my guy, you shouldn't be dropping the lead for 2-2 at half time.
No.
And if you're trying to win the game, you take off your goal scorers, your most threatening forwards, because we've got a game on Sunday, so I need to rest Rashford. It was 2-2, my guy. Play this game, play Sunday. He's not been picked for the internationals. He's at home. So you want a guy Nacho and I don't even want to say his name. 21. One average. I don't want to say his name. Like he's so unserious. He's so unserious. There's a lot of tactical issues that's making players suffer. And now that I've seen it from that angle and I saw that game, it's good when you can watch a game by yourself when no one else is watching. No one else is commenting on it. No one's saying, oh, do you see this? You see that? You can reanalyze. It was crap. It was pure crap. And it's another reason why I think this Sunday against Villa is going to be a very, very, very sad day for him. But we'll get to that as well in the Prem preview. So, yeah, man, 3-3, 2 games, 2 points.
There's a lot to talk about. No, there's a lot to talk about because I just seen a couple of the goals then, and yeah, Rashford looked electrifying. I think it was one of those cases for me. It was which goalkeeper wants to be worse on the night, because you got Diego Costa, who normally is really good in goal. You know, I rate him quite highly, to be fair. But the two goals, the Rashford goal, he should save that. Rasmus Højlund's goal, he's got to save them too. They're two mistakes. That's not even bad goalkeeping. That's just mistakes. You know what I mean? You can't get beaten like that. I think defensively, from what I have seen as well, like the little bits I've seen, it's very easy for a striker to split open United's defence and almost distract them from what's actually happening. And that's a very good key for an attacker. If you're able to, I just watched then sort of Martinez sort of drifting, running with the attacker. Before you know it, they're open. There's a couple of times where Nana makes a couple of good saves, or Porto are just skimming over the bar and whatever.
Yeah.
That's dangerous, I think, especially for me personally, to see that when you've got Martinez, you got De Ligt, who I think had a really poor game, probably at fault for, if not both, the two goals anyway. I think the first two goals for Porto, maybe the first one essentially. But I think I think it's difficult, man. I think these kind of results will cover over the cracks for Erik ten Hag, and it's a shame because, you know, if it's a 3-2 to Porto, the pressure's on him now. The pressure's on him anyway. But I think these 3-3s will help him stay in the job just a little bit longer, and that's the worst thing you can do as United fans in the club.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
You think the pressure's still on him?
Yeah, I think the Sunday's
think it is,
judgment
though.
different. I'm being very real. I don't, not that you're wrong, but I think the manner of the 3-3. Now, I'm not saying if you go behind. If you go behind, I'm not saying if you go behind 3-0 and come back 3-3, that's good. That's a good thing. It's not a good thing, but it's one of those, oh my God, they came back for the break. They fought for the manager. They fought for the result kind of thing. You were 2-0 up.
Yeah, no,
you had
exactly.
to fight for a draw.
You got to see the
that's
game
where,
out.
Exactly, and that's why I think it's peak for us. That's why I'm saying. That's why I think the Villa game is Judgment Day, because they're gonna look and say, "What the hell's happened here?" And for you, I don't know if you've heard the news. Obviously, you're more involved in Chelsea stuff.
No, I know. I know you're gonna say, Mr. Sir Jim's flying in for the game on Sunday. You know.
Not only that, so that as well, but not only that. So in Ineos, I don't know if anyone paid attention to when they first came in. They said that they'll do reviews of the season every January. So it's like, you know, do we need to bring this person in or whatever?
Yep.
They've moved it forward. They've brought it back to the international break now.
Okay.
So Sunday's a big day for him, because if it goes wrong, the meeting's on Monday, and that could mean see you later.
I'm still on the assumption that I reckon they'll sack him. I think he ain't seen out Christmas. I think that's a given. I would be surprised. I would bet my house and everything that he's not there come Christmas. I don't think he's going to be there. I think what will probably happen is they'll probably potentially, on an interim basis, give it to Van Nistelrooy. I think that's what they're going to try and do. The thing with, when I was thinking about this the other night as well, I don't even know if Ruud Van Nistelrooy is the right man for United. No one knows that, because to be fair, what's to say he's going to be any better than Erik ten Hag? There's nothing really substantial. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right, but this is the point of the interim, innit? There's no real pressure.
Yeah, of course. No, I agree.
And do his thing. So
can't be worse. Can't get any worse.
Believe me, can't get any worse than this. Believe me, God, it cannot. If it does, yeah.
But I said to you the other day, though, I feel that the players have stopped playing for him, and I think when that first Porto goal goes and it's 2-1, I can only imagine. Like I said, I didn't watch the full game, so this is just my assumption. But I can only imagine that head started to drop when it gets to 2-2. Heads are dropping even more when it gets to 3-2. It must have just been circus chaos, because and I've just watched the Fernandez red card. That's not a red card. I know people give him criticism and all the rest of it, but that is not a red card, man. There's no way he goes for the ball. Yeah. If anything, the player brings his head lower. Do you get what I'm saying? And it looks worse because if there is any connection, but of course you've got to go for that ball. You have to go. If you're Fernandez, you have to go for that ball, because you're trying to win the game now.
Yeah, no, you're not even wrong. You're right. It's Yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah,
He
like
has
come
to go
on.
for the ball, and that's why I sympathize with him. Because I was like, really, is this what you're gonna like book him for,
Mm,
or like he has to go. The ball's in a dangerous area to try to score a goal.
yeah,
So I understand you saying, okay, look, you missed the ball. I can see you didn't really touch him. It's fine, but again, this is why I'm saying the player conned him because when the player touches his head, he's rolling. Again, this is what VAR's there for. Okay,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
what do I know? Um, but yeah, no, no, I fully agree. It's just you just gotta be careful, man.
yeah. Especially in
Gotta be
European
careful,
games.
man.
European games, you find that referees are a little bit more stricter. They
Yeah.
don't take that kind of nonsense a little bit. But I don't think that's a second yellow. I'll be honest. I think he's. I think the Porto players sort of conned the referee a little bit into it looked worse than it was. And I think when you do that, you see the head injury, you see that his head contact, they're going to send him off for that. So it's just
Mm.
harsh. But I do feel, like you said, Villa, which we'll talk about in a bit, is a massive game for not just Eric Ten Hag, but I think for United as well, which we'll talk about a little later. But Chelsea, another basketball result, basketball performance, end to end. You don't know if it's going to be 4-2, 4-4, 5-4. You're just not sure. You have to watch the 90 minutes. But I was impressed with Chelsea. I'll be honest. I felt that Chelsea did. It's always weird with Chelsea because it's almost like shake the bowl and see what names come out. You just don't really know.
Yeah.
One thing I will give credit to Enzo Maresca for at the moment is that he's slowly putting together his main squad that he wants for the Premier League, the Cole Palmers and Levi Colwell's, Robert Sanchez, who I don't think is good enough, but he seems to be the one that's getting the nod over Jurgensen. But he's also now establishing his almost B weakened team, if you want to call it that, with Dewsbury Hall and Casaday and Renato Vega, all of these players that aren't really essentially playing in the Premier League. He's sort of building that
Yeah.
Conference League squad as well. Worry for me is our back line, because even in the Premier League, even in the Conference League, there's too many leaky goals, silly mistakes. We saw it against Brighton. Yeah, do you know what I mean? There's too many. We've seen it last night as well, where it's just basic silly things that we're doing at the back. But I say all that to say that attacking wise, even the two midfield last night, Casaday and Dewsbury Hall, he deserved his man of the match because he didn't start running. But it's going to sound bad. That's his level. I think that is his level, playing in those kind of, again, Ghent and, playing against Ipswich. But you play him against United, he can't do that. Play him against City, he's not doing that. So what's your thoughts on Chelsea? Do you think they are favourites to win it, but can you see why Chelsea are favourites to win the Conference League?
Yeah, you've got the squad for it. You've got the players for it. You've got goals in your team, and without sounding too disrespectful to the other teams, I think there's a comfortable gap in quality. I think that's what I should put it. So yeah, you should be the favourites. What I saw yesterday was a team that just know they're starting to learn how to put attacks together with ease.
Yeah,
Obviously, yeah, you can consider the opponent, but regardless, you have to create chances, and that's what you did, create loads of chances. But as you said, it's the conceding of goals that's the issue,
yeah,
because it takes one off day for a shock result,
yeah.
and the header they scored, the I don't want to call it a tap. It's not really a tap. It wasn't right in front of the
Yeah,
goal, but
it
it was
sort of was, yeah.
yeah, yeah, it was a cut back kind of goal. Those kind of goals you don't and you shouldn't be conceding. Again, my biggest issue is Robert Sanchez. That's
Yeah.
my biggest issue. But yeah, I think you've got too much in the team to not win it. Obviously, not winning it would be a genuine shock.
Oh, yeah.
With everything you've achieved in the last 20 years, the UEFA Conference League is not going to be the biggest thing you cheer for. But once you're in there, yeah, and you've got enough rotation to go and win it and rest players, and that's the perfect thing actually about it. You can not worry about Cole Palmer. You have to worry about and Kuku can even rest, even though I know he's played the games as well. He scored.
Yeah, yeah.
You can rest him as well if you want. Like, you just got so much in there. You didn't see Sancho, you didn't see some of your midfielders. Yeah, you just rest them. Let's keep resting them. It works for people like Fofana and Cole, so especially Fofana. He's coming from a long injury, innit? So
I'd rest him
ease
in.
him in.
I'd rest
Yeah,
him indefinitely, if I'm honest, but
I hear it.
he's one of them that's just flight risk. But there are some. I mean, just looking at some of these. I mean, yeah, the goals were brilliant from Chelsea. Before we move on from that, Renato Vegas was brilliant. Neto straight after half time. Christopher Nkunku, Dewsbury Hall scored a brilliant goal as well. It just seems like things are clicking with Chelsea at the moment. I feel like they're slowly building and getting that sort of cohesion that you need to progress in not just the Conference League but the Premier League as well. So we have to see how they go on. But there was some shockers, man. I was watching some of the results come in for, especially in the Conference League. Copenhagen lost last night. They should have won. They battered the other team. I don't know who this other team is. A team from Poland. I'm not going to try and pronounce their team's name, but they lost last night. I think Real Betis as well. Did they lose? Yeah, they lost. I thought, oh, even like Hearts winning 2-1. Good result for them there. Let's move to the Europa League. Some other fixtures. Lyon, Rangers, 4-1. Battered Rangers, man. Completely battered them. I haven't really been watching them, but Lacazette's 2 goals from Lacazette's. Not like they're doing well. I'm glad Lacazette has found himself another place to go to because I feel like he's really undervalued at Arsenal. What do you think?
I think they overvalued him. I think so. I'm gonna lie, man. I think they gave him a bit, not too much respect. It's good that they respect their player, but I think some of them overrated how good or sort of crucial he was. And it's funny, he goes and players like him leave, and you can see that there's been a progression at Arsenal.
Yeah.
Because he's very inconsistent with the goals. With Lyon, he's kind of found he's captain. He's gone back to a place where he's appreciated and loved from his past, and he's having a good time there. The second goal in particular that he scored, 25-yarder straight into the top corner, it was a lovely goal. Yeah. But yeah, he's just not that guy for me. He's never been that guy. And in terms of Rangers, you know what it is, yeah? Maybe it's just me being stupid, but when Celtic won their first Champions League fixture this season, I thought, okay, maybe they're looking a bit whatever, and they went to go and get hit for 7. So, and
Dortmund weren't playing games though.
No, they weren't. No, they weren't, to be fair to them. Rangers have been to a European final in recent years, but I would never expect a Scottish side to do well in the European football. I'm just call a spade, man. It's not a good time for them. So
difficult times for them. Tottenham were early kick-off yesterday, and Brennan Johnson again on the score sheet. I tell you what's annoying me though with the Brennan Johnson thing. Everyone's making out like he's the first person. I'm not saying it's right or wrong either, but they're making out like he's the first person to ever be abused on social media. And the fact that he's deactivated his account and then he's come back and now he's got a new lease of life. That's why he's scoring goals. I'm not saying he should be abused at all because that's just wrong in itself. But like, just let him concentrate on his football. Like, he doesn't need to be told that we don't need to know that he's deactivated his account and he's back now. It's great. But Tottenham talk to me because they seem to be doing all right. They turned over a little bit of a new leaf. Wins against Coventry, Brentford. They beat Karabag United, and obviously they've just beaten. I'm not going to try and pronounce that name either. But they beat another team last night. What do you think about Spurs? Turn a new corner?
Not yet. We'll see. When it comes to one of their big games coming up. I don't call United a big game right now. United are not a big game team. I think, I just have to see how they keep going because Spurs are still another inconsistent side. Yeah. I look at that team, and if I'm being honest, I think that team should be a top 4 team. 30. You can say that about a lot of teams in the Premier League. I understand, but if they keep their team fit, there's obviously ifs and maybes. But if they keep their team fit, Vicario is a bit of a risk, absolutely. But Udogie, Romero, Van der Ven, and Porro is one hell of a defense. Because they've got qualities in all different ways. You've got Sarr, Bissouma, Bentancur, Madison, Kulusevski, Son, still Madison. Come on, man.
No. I know what you're saying, but he's there, man. He's there.
He is there. Yeah, he's there. But but even him, like, his finishing is the issue, but he's a problem because he's quick and he actually gets into good positions. So you've got some level of ability there. You've got some quality there. Look, they should be doing better. And again,
Yeah, yeah, of
for me,
course.
they're one of my favorites for the Europa League.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They should be getting far, but
Mm.
again, it's all whatever they do with the manager and how he sets up with the team and if the players perform. But yeah, another win. And then Johnson, look, one thing about him is I just want to see if he can maintain this. I'm not expecting to
Yeah,
score
yeah,
in every game. I'm not gonna say, oh, you didn't score today, or you're back to wherever. Like, just try and keep form because, like you said, we've had this before where players unfortunately receive stupid amounts of abuse,
mm.
and it forces them to deactivate stuff so they can block it all out, which is fine.
Yeah,
Deal with it how you want to deal with it. I'll never criticize you for that. And then he's found form on the pitch and he's found himself. But I think one, you need to be able to find that confidence in the first place,
yeah. That's what I'm
and
saying.
two, yeah, and two, this is what made your players rally around you in the first place, the players also need to think about how they encourage players. Because if he's
Yeah,
not finding goals, he's not finding assists, and you can see he's affecting him in training a little bit, and the fans are onto him. Sometimes you, rather than the manager, the players need to put an arm around him and say, "Look, I've got confidence in playing with you.
100%.
Go out there, let's do our thing." So yeah, there's faults and things to be learned on all sides, but it's good to see he's on form at least, and he's contributing, so it's good for him.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. Now, there was a shock. There was a shock on Wednesday night. I can't lie. Aston Villa won, Bayern Munich nil.
Mm.
Unai Emery, Villa Park was rocking, man. I'll be honest, I did not see that result coming. I knew, obviously, Villa are in really good form at the moment, and Unai Emery's got them playing some really good football. And obviously, our man again, Duran, 79 minutes, scored the only game. Do you know what's really frustrating? Really, really frustrating. We could have signed this brother. We could have had him at
Oh,
Chelsea.
brother,
40. How
brother.
much was it? 45 million I wanted. And we
Well,
turned away.
even before he signed for Aston Villa, articles are coming out again. It was being retweeted by Man United fans that we bid 10 million for him when he was at Chicago Fire,
Yeah,
but we didn't
see?
see the deal through. And I'm just like, look at this. That's another young talent. We should have signed
Yeah,
him. Man.
yeah. Him and Amaridian, this is his name from Porto from
Yeah,
last night.
yeah. Even me, yeah, I was before the game. Even before the game, I didn't watch it, but until this morning. But yesterday, when I saw the lineups, I was in my head. I was like, I'm sure I spoke to Theo about him, and I'm
Yeah,
sure I
yeah,
told
yeah.
Theo that don't sign him. I think he's overrated and all that stuff. And
Nah,
yeah,
they've both hit the ground running though. Do you know what I mean?
boy,
But
both of us for sure.
but I think it was a really good because if you look at just looking at the stats here now from the Villa game, and again I don't really like to go off just the stats, but they were battered by Bayern Munich based on these stats, and it shows you that they had a lot more control of the game by Munich, and obviously Villa were just very clinical. They took their chances when they got them, and they were not lucky, but they were very smart in the way that they obviously conducted their football on Wednesday night, and to get the win against Bayern Munich. This is a team that still has Harry Kane, Michael Elise, Kingsley Coleman, Gnabry, Kimmich. So they Alfonso Davis, your man Upamecano, picked up a yellow card for Bayern Munich. Of course he did. Manuel Neuer in goal. So it's still a really good quality Bayern Munich squad. It's not like they've got no one in there that they can fill in. And to be fair, Villa started with Morgan Rogers, Ollie Watkins, Jacob Ramsey, Tillemans. Casualties came off. Jacob Ramsey I think got injured, and Onana came off injured. So I don't know how bad they are, but there's Unai Emery's working with very limited tools, but getting really good results out of them.
Bro, he's so tactically aware. That's the best way for me to
Yeah,
describe him and give him the praise. Like when he makes subs, it's with an intent to change the tide of the game. When he moves players' positions, is to rattle the opposition and give them something else to think about. And this game for me was told the goalkeepers because
yeah,
those stats read true. If you watch the game, Emi Martinez made save after save,
yeah, yeah. He
especially
did.
towards the last 10, 15 minutes of the game. He was active,
Yeah,
and he was the hero on that side. But I'm not going to sit here and say it was a smash and grab because it didn't feel like that. It
no, no.
felt like Villa played their part in the game, scored a beautiful goal for John Duran,
Yeah,
which again, I don't know if I said it in the group chat, but he made me so happy because, bro, my eyes even closed. Look at me. Like I smell something good. Like I smell some good
Good
food.
food.
Good food, man.
Yeah.
Because we're losing apart from like 2 or 3 people in the top level, we're losing strikers.
Yeah,
And
100%.
what he did was so instinctive. You've got a man on you, putting you under pressure.
Yep.
And most players are going to try and take a touch and see if there's anyone else coming so they can hold the ball up a little bit or try and shove him off and see if they can take him on. He, whilst in the tussle, noticed Neuer way off his line and said, first time, instinct
Yep.
and the ability to pull it off. Oh, my God. Yeah. Quality. Absolute quality.
And
So
and
thank you, John Duran.
do you know what the funny thing is? It's not like he's starting games either, because he's not getting a nod really ahead of Ollie Watkins or Morgan Rogers or whoever. He's coming on and impacting games, and he done it
Yeah.
against who did they play the other day in the
Or, oh, God.
it will come back to me. It was only the other day.
Yeah. The
It
league,
was
isn't it?
Young Boys. I think it was Young Boys. I think he scored in that game. I'm
Oh, he
pretty
did.
sure.
Yeah, he did.
I'm
Yeah.
pretty
Yeah,
sure
yeah,
he
he did.
came on
Yeah.
and scored in that game as well. And he's impacting games. I don't class him as an impact sub, because I think Villa might struggle next season to keep hold of him. I think his value's obviously going up and up the more he's playing and the more he's scoring. But I don't
Yeah.
know if Villa. I don't think he's gonna want to sit around and just play second fiddle to someone else at Aston Villa. I think he'll want to. Maybe this season he'll stay because of the Champions League and all that. But I think come the summer there'll be a lot of clubs coming in for him, because he looks the real deal, man, and he looks really really good.
And rightfully so, man. He's still so young. He's only 20, man. Like
Yeah,
he's got a big future. He's got a
massive.
big future. And sometimes it takes a big move to see if you're going to be that
Yeah,
guy or if Emery had it right with you. But he needs that. I think it's
yeah, yeah.
time for him to get that move eventually. Obviously, you tried to go for him in the summer. You guys didn't pay the fee. West Ham bulked at the fee as well, and they signed Fulkrug instead. And we had not seen Fulkrug in ages. I don't
I
know what
know.
the
I
hell's
was
happening
thinking
with
that
him.
is he injured?
I don't know. I haven't heard any news. I don't see news of
Is
injury
he
or
still in?
anything.
Is he still in Germany?
Imagine.
Where is he? Is he in London? What's
Wait,
going on?
I don't know where that brother's gone, but it's just really baffling. I don't know what's happening with him. But yeah, like you can tell now. Now you're seeing him this season. It's easy to sit here now and say, I can see why they put that fee on, and I'd argue I'd even ask for more.
Yeah.
And they're gonna ask for more in the summer, as you said. So yeah, man. But he's so good. He's so good, and Aston Villa are gonna do great in the Champions League. I don't think people understand. I think they're gonna get into that top 8. That's how much I'm gonna bring him up. I think they're gonna get into that top 8 because Bayern Munich, if I remember their fixtures, is probably their hardest challenge,
Yeah.
and they've dealt with that now.
Yeah.
So it's not against any. It's not really impossible to imagine them being in that top 8 come the league's phase done,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Because
they
it's the
advance
first
to the
eight, isn't it? That
knockouts.
is it. The first
Yeah,
first eight or first 16 that go through.
first 8 go through. The next 16 play each other in a knockout
Yeah.
game
Sorry. Yeah.
each,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
you have your final 16 from that. Yeah, so
Yeah. Yeah. And it carries
yeah,
on the
man.
same then. Quickly before we move over the European stuff into the Premier League again. Couple of shocks for me really. Lille beating Real Madrid 1-0. Didn't really see that coming. Yeah, Jonathan David penalty. Real Madrid just looked off it, man. I did see that. I mean, they picked up more cards than goals. Endrick got booked. Camavinga got booked. Jude Bellingham got booked. Luka Modric got booked. Antonio Rudiger got booked as well. So I just think there's going to be, especially in this new format, I think there's going to be some clubs that are just going to be up for it more than the other team. I really do. I think you look
Yeah,
at Villa, Bayern Munich last night, like you just said, one of their toughest fixtures out of the way now. Real Madrid losing. Juventus just about won against Leipzig. We have to talk about Arsenal. We do, because they beat PSG, albeit a different PSG now, 2-0.
yeah, yeah,
It's obviously a completely different PSG to what was Neymar there, Lionel Messi and Mbappe. Enrique's trying to do what he can with the squad that he's got, and it was a really good result for Arsenal. I was really impressed with them. Kai Havertz, Bakayoko Saka on the score sheet. They played really good. What did you see the game? What do you think of them?
yeah. I watched it. No, they deserved the win. They were tidy in possession. They did what they had to do. But I don't want the narrative to be that PSG didn't have chances. They had chances.
Oh, they
They hit
did.
the post. They hit
Yep.
the woodwork, the crossbar, that being the woodwork. They they weren't bummy in the match. This Arsenal, I'd say one bit of quality with the cross to Havertz, good header,
Yep.
goal. An element of luck with Saka's cross that just evaded everybody and went to the bottom corner. Sometimes you need that. But PSG weren't terrible. It's just they are now in a situation where obviously they've lost three of their key men in like 18 months.
Yep.
Messi gone, Neymar gone, and now Mbappe gone. Like they've lost everybody, and they're now trying to figure out going from an era where it was obviously mostly Neymar and Mbappe,
Yep.
and then depending on Mbappe, if you're Barcola, you have the ball. It's Mbappe making a run. It's not him anymore. If
Yeah.
it's Emery, whoever else they've got in the squad, it's a different situation for them. So they're trying to get used to that, but they still have enough in the team to win another league title. They have enough in the team to challenge in the Champions League. Not to win it now because they've lost
Yep.
the X factor. But yeah, they weren't bad, man. That still sort of threatened them. So I think they'll be okay. But long way to go, man. Long way to go. It is what you said about obviously about we're talking about Villa and like the harder game gone and all that kind of stuff. What I think teams in this Champions League need to really realize is you're not playing a team twice in a little group
Yeah.
anymore.
That's what I'm saying.
You got eight different opponents. Like just go and grab wins.
Yeah.
Because more time, if you are a team that comes from the top 5 leagues, about 5 of them will come from leagues that you should be beating them in.
And I
So
think that's why teams are thinking now. Let's just go and get the win.
that's it.
Do
And
you
you
know what I
should do. Absolutely. Absolutely. So yeah, take advantage of it, man. You can't lose in this situation, if I'm being honest. I think this is a great way to not only, you know, do well in the league phase, but if you are Aston Villa, who probably want to be in fourth seeds,
Yeah.
because they finished fourth last year, innit? Yeah, so they want to
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
fourth seeds, rather than worrying about you get I don't know Real Madrid, who finished second in Italy last year. I think it was AC Milan, and then one of those bogey third seed teams. You face Bayern and you look at your next fixture, you're like, that's winnable. Okay,
Yeah.
take advantage, man. Take advantage. This is the best way to win it. And then if you're in that top 8, those 16, if there's big boys in there that have fumbled the bag and they got to face each other, let them do them. They
Yeah.
stay
Yeah.
over there.
100%. 100%.
That's it. That's
100%,
it.
man. It's interesting though. I'm liking the format. I didn't think I would, but I'm enjoying the format. I'm enjoying the fact that you play one team once and that's it. I think that's probably. I was a bit hesitant at first, but we have to see how it plays out. Maybe do like a little review of that when we get to the knockout stages and we know who's qualified and all the rest of it. So that'd be interesting. But let's move our attention to tomorrow. I can already hear Jurgen Klopp somewhere talking about 12:30 kickoffs and why is it Liverpool again? Why are we playing 12:30 kickoffs? He's somewhere. I don't know if he's in Liverpool still. Is he back home in Germany or he's gone back to Spain, wherever he is? But I can hear him somewhere because Crystal Palace play Liverpool 12:30 tomorrow, early kickoff. I'm looking forward to that game. What's your thoughts on it, first of all?
Yeah, Crystal Palace and Liverpool have a history in it, so it's always a fun game. Obviously, Liverpool dominated them a lot more, but Palace is still a weird place to go to. But I'm intrigued to see if they can step up because they've started the season poorly, and
Yep.
it looks like Eze is missing having Olise to do the link ups with because I
Yeah.
don't think it's working for Nketiah. And Nketiah's the number 9. He's going almost playing like a 10. I don't know what the role is in the position that he's playing in, but yeah, it looks like it's a bit funky right now.
Yeah.
But he doesn't want to drop Mateta, which I understand. Mateta was good for him last year, so
Yeah, he's doing well.
it's a weird one. They obviously lost Anderson to Fulham as well, so yeah, they're in a weird time. But they still got some quality in there to trouble teams. So we'll see how they do. But if I'm being honest, I think Liverpool will eventually get them done.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm just looking here. They haven't won Palace at Selhurst since 2014. So yeah, almost 10 years, almost to the day. Their last win came the 23rd of November, 3-1, when Joe Ledley was still there, Dwight Gale was still there. In fact, Was that not? Was that? That wasn't. Oh no, that wasn't the game. I was going to say that wasn't the
No,
game.
that
That
game was
was
the draw when
that was the
yeah,
3-3. I think. Yeah. I was going to say
yeah.
that was the season before. I think. Yeah, that was the May game. It was May. Let's move on before I start going down memory lane and start thinking about Suarez crying on the pitch. Arsenal, Southampton.
Yeah.
I think that's Arsenal's
Yes,
all
man.
day.
Southampton are in trouble, man.
Nah, they
They're in
are, man.
trouble,
They
man.
are. They are.
Yeah, they're in trouble. It's long. I'm being honest. If Arsenal don't score 4 minimum, I'll be disappointed in them. That's
You
how much I
keep
think they're
applying the
gonna
pressure
run.
to Basil, man.
Oh, facts. What is here? Obviously, I said to you, man, in the chat that I was having a best of day, so I didn't watch the football or anything. But I went through the chats, and this guy telling me about not trying
Come
not to run from my destiny. Listen, Basil, listen. My mouth is gonna run hot now because the kids are going away for 2 weeks. I've got you. Believe me, I've got time. Oh yeah, man. Yeah.
It's on, man. It's on. But no, I agree with you. I think, Southampton are definitely in trouble. I said to you the other day, I think Southampton, Ipswich, and Leicester, they're the three that came up, I think. And
Yes.
all three of them are still without a win in the Premier League so far. We're going into match day 7, so that's a massive concern for all three of them. Another key game that I'm looking forward to, the other two, obviously we've got Brentford Wolves, Leicester Bournemouth, and then Man City Fulham. But I am looking forward to West Ham Ipswich because I feel like Ipswich, as I just said, they haven't registered a win. West Ham, again, another team, they've only got one win in their last 5 games. I feel this game could go either way. I really do.
This is where I'm thinking as well because I don't know what's not working with Lopetegui right now. I don't know. I don't know why he's struggling to get results because the team is there. If I'm
Yeah,
being honest, I'm not trying to do that on paper. Yeah, they're great. The team is there, and I feel like it's balanced.
yeah.
But I don't know if he's worked out. I think he hasn't worked out the midfield balance. He still pairs 2 slow midfielders. He hasn't really organized what he wants happening there. But this could be the place to get their first win, and it would have surprised me.
Yeah,
Was surprised to see Liam Delap get another one on the score sheet. So
yeah.
yeah, that is one to watch for sure. I don't know what the result's going to be, but yeah, man, we'll definitely have a look and see if West Ham can wake up or not.
Yeah, and obviously Amari Hutchinson's in that team. Calvin Phillips, who spent time on loan at West Ham, did he?
Oh, he had a disaster, man. Yeah,
No,
he
I
had a
know, I know.
disaster.
I don't think he'll get the
Yeah,
warmest reception when he goes back. But he's in. I reckon he'll be in the team alongside Sam Morsey, I do like as a good midfielder. He likes to get stuck in, so I like him. So that'd be an interesting game. The late kickoff tomorrow is Everton Newcastle. Everton obviously registered their first 3 points, I think, last weekend with their first win of the season. Newcastle, I feel like they're doing their football slowly. They're just going about their business. There's not much talk about them. They're 7th currently on 11 points. I just feel Newcastle are just coasting along quietly, which is worrying.
I don't know what to make of them because I think I look at the squad. I know they've obviously got some good players in there, like Isaac, like Gordon,
Gordon,
like Bruno G.
yeah,
Harvey Barnes is a
Tonali,
decent player as well. Yeah, Tonali, obviously having him back is huge,
yeah,
but there's something that's just not clicking there so far. Maybe Eddie Howe's running out of ideas for the team. I don't know, but I can only see them drawing this game.
Oh
I
really?
think Everton will get. Yeah, I think Everton will get a positive result for them in this game, and a draw for them is positive because they're trying to figure it out still, and they're gonna hope that the takeover's done. Like I said, probably just before January, so they can spend a little bit of money
Yeah,
and improve a little bit. But yeah, tough times for Newcastle, man. I don't want anyone to really expect anything from Newcastle this year. Just gotta push for the season, but yeah, I couldn't see them drawing this game. Nothing more than that.
it's interesting because I agree with you to an extent. I feel that Eddie Hearn, and there was a guy in the chat. I don't know if you got to see the comments on one of the YouTube videos. I don't know who he is, but there was a Newcastle fan in there, and he listened to the preview that I did of Newcastle and all the rest of it. He probably chose the wrong weekend because they got smashed by, I can't remember what team it was. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But I feel that Eddie Howe will, and his head is slowly getting turned by this England job. I really do. I think he'd be silly to turn that up. I feel that because the two owners, the co-owners that were there, I think they've moved away from the club now, haven't they? They're trying to invest into Spurs or something like that. So that could be
Yeah.
another factor as well. I know there was some disruption between the board members upstairs and Eddie Howe. I don't think they were getting on or something, or some do transfers. I think Anthony Gordon's contract's now almost finalized, so I think they're going to sign him on a new deal with a. I don't think with a release clause as well. I think there's no release clause in there, but I do feel that Newcastle should win this game. They did lose it last season, 3-0, ironically, but
Yeah, yeah,
this is for me. They've got too much, like you just said, Gordon, Isak, Joe Linton, Bruno G, Tonali. I think Lewis Hall will be crucial in this game. Trippier as well as fullbacks. So I do think
yeah.
Newcastle will get the win. I just think Goodison's a difficult ground to go to. It's very hostile. I'm not saying St James isn't, but Everton is the one ground you do not want to go to when you need 3 points is Goodison Park, because it's mental. It really is.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. It is. It's their last season there, man. They need to find something to get them moving. But like, as much as Newcastle have the players, the thing about Everton is they have one or two players that just have enough in them sometimes to just pull something out of the hat. In particular, Harrison and McNeil
Yeah,
in
yeah.
particular. So I think they'll be leaning on them a lot more this year. And McNeil's a funny one because when he starts, he does this for about 4 games and he disappears again. So yeah, so this might be the little moment where he gets his goals and assists and he just goes back into the wilderness again.
Yeah.
And I'm just going for a draw all day, man. I don't think they'll have a positive result in Newcastle. Positive for Everton, but not for Newcastle.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
and
agree.
also England will be dumb to go for Eddie Howe. I'm just going to leave it at that.
We're going to talk about that international. Actually, we'll do that international week. We'll talk about the candidates, because Frank Lampard's throw his name in the hat as well, which for me is managerial suicide. But we'll talk about that another day. I know. We'll talk about that another day. Big game, Villa Park. Get man to the M6 quick and get me down there. I'd love to go to that game actually. Yeah, Aston Villa, Man United. Obviously, we kind of touched on it earlier, but yeah, this is for me. This is the Grim Reapers waiting for Eric Ten Hag, and if he loses this game, I think he's done. I think he's done. I think the fans are lost confidence. The players are lost confidence. I think there's if Sir Jim Ratcliffe is there, he's done. He's done.
Yeah. It's Judgment Day, man. It's Judgment Day.
It's a judgment day.
Judgment Day. If the result is negative, he's gonna be walking and he's gonna hear the Undertaker's theme song in his head, thinking, "Fuck, I'm done. I'm done here, man."
And Paul Bearer behind them.
Exactly. Yeah, man. You know, holding that casket, saying, "Yeah, man, this is it for you, man."
It's worrying because looking at these results here now, and this is obviously from the start of the season. So a win against Fulham, a defeat to Brighton, defeat to Liverpool, a win against Southampton on the 14th. That was the last win in the league. Obviously, I know there's only been 2 games since then after that, but lovely 7-0 against Barnsley, a draw against Palace, a draw against FC20, a defeat to Tottenham. I read yesterday he's only won 1 European game out of 9. I don't know if that's true.
I keep hearing that. I don't know how true that is. I have to have
It
a
can't
look.
be true, man. It sounds too mad to be true.
I genuinely don't know. I mean, because obviously he's been there 3 years, and we got to the in his first year. We didn't get to a final, did we? In our first
I was just
year.
trying to say, I mean, he must have won more games than that. Maybe it's over like a period of time. Maybe I misheard the thing on the commentary, but I'm pretty sure I heard that he's only won 1 game out of 9. But that can't be right based on the maths, in it. Like, it just doesn't make any sense.
Well, this is I'm gonna see this now because it's bugging me as well, if I'm being honest. But I've been hearing about it, and it's like, yeah, here we go. Oh, there you go. Oh, yeah, they're calling it dismal. This is not good. In his yeah. In his last 10 European games as main United boss, Ten Hag has won just once. That's a 1-0 win against Copenhagen at Old Trafford in last year's Champions League group stage.
Bloodfire. Yeah, that's
Because
not good.
in his first season when he came, I don't think we didn't finish in the European spot, did we?
No, no, I don't
No,
think so.
no, we
Which is
didn't.
why,
No,
which is
we
why I
didn't.
think it made sense to me last night. But then I woke up this morning, I was like, "No, that can't be right. That can't be true. That can't be true." But if Google's telling me
Oh,
it's true, me
yeah,
have to take the advice that Google's telling me in it and just, them way there. But
yeah, yeah,
last couple of games, Sunday, sorry. So we got Chelsea Forest, which I think will be I think it'll be a difficult game. And the reason I say that is because if I remember back to the games that we played last season against Forest, they were actually difficult. I remember the game at the City Ground didn't go according to plan. I think we won, but it was very unconvincing. I think it was 3-2. And then they
yeah.
beat us last season at Stamford Bridge.
Oh,
Yes, I feel like it was Alanga. It's either Alanga or Callum Hudson-Odoi. I think it was Alanga that scored at Stamford Bridge. I feel like Callum Hudson-Odoi scored against us at the City Ground. But things have changed since then. I feel like we've got a more stable manager, as I said before. I feel like there's things that are coming into fruition now, which is good for the team. But I still think we have to guard against mistakes at the back. Sanchez can't play out from the back. Fofana can't play out
yeah,
from the back. It's very
yeah,
panicky. So for me personally, I'd go with Tosson and I'd go Levi Colwill at the back and I'd put Gusto and Cucurella back as the fullbacks. But we have to see. Maresca, do the right thing. Don't ruin my birthday weekend, please. Thank you. Brighton Tottenham is the last game, I think. Have we got a game on Monday? I don't think we have we?
I don't think we got a game on Monday.
No,
Was
because
international break, isn't
internationals,
it?
yeah. So last game is Tottenham and who did I just say? Brighton, Tottenham. What's your thoughts? That's
Yeah.
what I
That could
thought.
be troublesome for Tottenham. That
That's
could be
what I
troublesome
think
for
as well.
Tottenham. Oh boy! But the thing is, you got two teams that are very open. This could be a crazy
Yeah,
scoreline.
yeah,
Um, damn. I don't know where to go from. Look, Tottenham. They have confidence right now. Going to Old Trafford, no matter what the form of Man United is saying, if you're a team and you go to Old Trafford, you win a game by that much, that comfortably, you can't be anything else but confident going into your next game, and that's a good thing to carry into your next game. But they'll know that Brighton have started the season well, but just like Nottingham Forest as well, last weekend, I think they got a bit too ahead of themselves. They went to Chelsea and
yeah.
were way too open. They shouldn't have been that much open.
The high
Forest,
line.
the highline is crazy.
Yeah,
Forest, dropping points against Fulham at home. We're losing 1-0. Like it's these moments where you get a bit complacent that they catch you. So Brighton can't have that complacency. Then again, they are facing a team that loves to be complacent.
yeah.
So, but look, if you're gonna push me for someone, I think Spurs will probably sneak that game.
I think momentum will take Spurs through, but I would not be surprised. I'm trying to think. Let me just quickly find out what that was. I feel like it was a big scoreline last time at the Amex. Yeah, it was 4-2 to Brighton last
Yeah,
game there last season. João Pedro, Estupina, Pedro again, and then Hishelwood as well scored the first goal. So look, and to be fair, Tottenham only scored the 2 goals in the 80th minute. So it could go either way. Two open teams, like you say. But again, I feel Tottenham will just coast through. I think the Brighton manager, I can't remember his name now. It's just Glasner, not Glasner.
no, hurts, yeah.
Hertzler. Yeah. So I think he's very much of the opinion you're sticking to this way of football, and this is how we're going to play, and we're going to have to go through the pain before we see some rewards with it. But I think by doing that, we're going to see some mad score lines from Brighton this season.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
just one of them. But yeah, some good fixtures coming up. Obviously, international break. Why can't I have an international break, man? We just literally had one, like literally 2 weeks ago. Like, what's going on?
Tiring.
What is going on, man? But yeah, we'll talk about the England manager candidates. We'll pull the list of candidates together and try and dissect who should be the one that we think should go for it and who they should go. Should even be. It could be even Lee Carsley. We never know. But yeah, if you're listening to this live, thank you. If you're listening to it afterwards, please make sure, as I said at the start of this, you subscribe, you like the video, leave some thoughts in the chat as well. Audio versions available on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. The search Style of Play Football, it should come up. Kojo, as always, man, thank you. Pleasure.
Always.
Enjoy the weekend when you get to it, like I shall be doing, hopefully. And yeah, man, we'll be back soon.